Bulks in the top left-hand corner of the map. From Team Acer, he is currently down 0-1. It is MMA. MMA going to be facing off against his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner from Team Startail. Ladies and gentlemen, the Korean Protoss Squirtle. Squirtle looked so good in that last game. I mean, he was incredibly far behind after that hidden expo, but
the map control really
dem maps.
The map control really completely changed the entire game. I mean, Squirtle was always in MMA's face. The third base was constantly under pressure, and not only that, I mean, MMA's inability to change his entire army composition, given the huge amount of Archons that were out there. That was all Squirtle's forcing MMA into like a little corner and then just taking him out. KO.
Yeah, he did. He just needed a lot of ghosts. I mean, EMPs are so important when you're dealing with heavy Zealot Archon-based compositions, and it's just something that MMA really didn't have access to. And because EMPs, that is, not ghosts. Yes. He could have made it ghosts, but yeah, I mean, without enough ghosts, it's a pretty tough fight for you.
Incredibly. Now, this game, Ohana, very interesting map because there are just so many different options for both of these players to really go for. Colossus incredibly important on this map because of all of the choke points, but also High Templar also work really well. If you're going for Colossus, you're probably going to be playing a little bit more defensive, trying to get your third and fourth base up. But if you go for the High Templar, then you're going to have a really strong army and actually pretty good engagement into the mid and late game. So I'm really curious to see what Squirtle's going to be doing. Yeah,
and Colossus are great on this map. There's a lot of narrow points to engage on. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what comes from Squirtle. Now, this is a great drop from for drops.
Yes,
and
drops
MMA is so good at them.
The drops are really going to be...
it's a pretty big main.
Pretty devastating because, the main actually has a huge area in which it's just completely susceptible to drops.
I do like, though, that Squirtle, he's kind of built things up here towards the right.
I was just noticing that as we were talking about drops. And that might be just one of those little small things in SimCity.
Yeah, it's like, this is a great area to drop your stuff. And
I mean, now he has sight of it.
He's got it covered, yeah.
Exactly.
With more than, like, a pylon. It's going to be a lot tougher to kill all this. Granted, the cyberkinetics core is a pretty important element, but, hey, man, if you got enough stalkers... that could actually like point towards something that we may see later. Like Squirtle's not going to be worried about losing his cyber core because he's actually going to be going pretty stalker heavy. I mean, who knows? We'll be keeping an eye on things, but if that happens, like that's just a testament to the thought process that goes into Squirtle's play.
Quite true, quite true. Now, how do you feel MMA should be responding to a large amount of Colossus on this map? Mech actually pretty strong on this map, but of course, Mech versus Protoss is not that common really anymore. He's going to have to go for probably a little bit more of a marine tank if he wants to really take advantage of those choke points, or just go incredibly drop heavy and just have a huge ball of MMA.
Talking about mech, you never know, though. I mean, some players like Last Shadow, I mean, it's just pull it out of nowhere. Sting as well has been using mech to great effect versus Protoss, but here we go. The expansion is going to go down for Squirtle, and we'll have to wait and see, of course, if we do see a lot of Colossi. One of the things, you got to mention is, like, sure, maybe a strategy is great on a specific map,
right?
But that just makes it all the less likely that your opponent is going to be expecting other strategies, which makes them good. So, Immortal Sentry all in on Daybreak. It's happened twice in this tournament. Both times the players have won. Well, in the games that I've cast. So, like,
you got to play the metagame. I mean, this is the tournament after all, and if you play the metagame really well, especially when you're in a series, you play round one like this, and then you play round two a little bit differently than what you played round one. It can definitely catch your opponent off guard and give you a really nice advantage.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Tech Lab going down on that barracks. Probably going to see Stim coming out as soon as possible. He is a little bit gas deprived right now.
Yeah. Just for the moment, though. Going to be dropping another supply depot, getting himself enough area to make units here as he is approaching that block. But ultimately, I mean, he is going for the bunker. I wonder if this is going to be an attempt to be a little misleading because he is only working on 2 refineries right now. He's got 3 barracks, and here's the stim. So probably a factory follow-up here into drops would make a lot of sense. And it's just playing it safe here against the possibility of like a 5-gate or anything like that, which we do actually... Okay, good. That's a robo.
Yeah.
I was like,
this is a 4-gate. Oh, no. Yeah,
so,
but a nice
quick
little
observer
3-gate robo.
Yeah. Should be starting that up any second. Chrono boosted out and see exactly what MMA is up to. This time I think we'll be Squirtle will be a little bit more responsible in checking for hidden expos.
What? MMA expanded into Squirtle's third base? That's just completely unexpected.
You scared me. There's a nuke in his mineral line.
I still keep thinking of that poor little probe coming out of the Thespian gas geyser.
Oh, you gotta move on. You gotta move on in life. I just lost my cell phone and I've already forgotten about it. Robo Bay going down. We were talking about Colossus, Kevin, and here they are.
Yeah, there comes those Colossus. A very good call. A very standard call on this map, but, as we saw last time, Squirtle was keeping those Colossus alive for a very long time. Even with the large amount of Vikings that MMA made in the very early game push that he put out, those Colossus all stayed alive as the MMM tried kiting away, and all the Vikings got completely evaporated.
All right, so I want to wait for a reactor. Is he going to build a reactor? There it is.
There we go.
And here's what's interesting. All right, it's going to be 2 medevacs. If he goes for a 2 medevac drop here, which he definitely could, Colossi, the timing here for Squirtle moving out across the map, he could actually hit right as these... It really depends on whether he goes for a 1 or 2 Colossus play, and if he goes for extended thermal lance, which he hasn't started now, and he has the money. There it is. Okay, so in fact, Squirtle's going to be playing defensive when these drops do arrive, which will, medevac 42 seconds. It's not far away. MMA is going to be moving out in just a second or two, and these Colossi are still a ways away from moving out onto the map, because he should wait for 2 if he's going extended thermal.
And the really interesting thing about this map, we were talking about before that the drops have a large area that they can come from, but they can only come from really one direction. As soon as you grab that third base, it makes it a little bit more difficult to drop either the natural or the main base, because you can only drop from the north going to the south. So that's one thing you really just keep your eyes on, and then you're going to be pretty good as a Protoss against those types of drops.
Yeah, no, you're definitely correct about that. And, we speculated about the possibility of drops earlier. Squirtle, he's got these units in position. I want to look at his Stalker count. No, it's just chilling right now. We'll see if he goes... Oh, he's got the Twilight Council on the way right now, in fact.
Right. He's going all the
And a
techs
Forge.
very quickly, so...
oh, my God.
Oh,
All right.
that's a lot of... Okay.
That is a lot of gateways. And it's actually a little perplexing with the Forge, because...
He's going to be spreading himself very thin. I don't think he's going to be going for an expansion anytime soon.
I wouldn't expect so either here, but the Forge at the same time is just such a confusing maneuver. I mean, it of course could be for some cannons to be a little safe against drops, but barring that, I mean, you really just want to put your money...
for +1 armor.
Yeah, so...
We might be seeing a lot of Zealots starting to come out, possibly.
Yeah, Charge Loss definitely makes sense here.
He didn't start... I'm sorry, did he actually get Blink? The Twilight Council did come down. Did he grab Blink or Charge just yet?
It looks like it's just going to be a really, really delayed big timing push, because he's not making any maneuvers to, take out these rocks or make a move for the third. And, of course, MMA's got this SCV here, but, well, here come the drops. We were talking earlier about that Cybernetics core position, but look at this timing out of Squirtle.
Already.
Yeah.
Squirtle is just so smart. The Observer already moving around the map as well. And as soon as those medevacs do scout out those Zealots, he's going to just back up. He knows already he's lost the element of surprise. There's not too much at the natural, but even then, the nice little ramp there between the main and the natural makes it very accessible for Squirtle to move his forces back and forth.
Well, let's talk why it's okay that Squirtle's on 2 bases, and that's because MMA is still on 2 bases, and Squirtle's got a lot of information about this. His Observer looks like it may have finally been taken out, but at this stage, it's more than done its work. No, it has. Yeah. But the pylon's sitting over at the third. He knows it's at least not mining right now, and he's very well protected right now.
Both of these players are perfectly fine with just completely building up a massive army, and this is more like a first year of StarCraft 2 coming out TVP. Where nobody's going for a third immediately. Everybody's just building up a massive army, and then they're going to see what happens, and then they'll start thinking about an expansion. Because as you can see, MMA also has an SCV at the third base, so he knows that there's no third base coming out. And Protoss, unfortunately, cannot lift off their Nexuses, so it's not even that Squirtle has the possibility of making that Nexus.
All right, well, an engagement could be imminent here. It's really going to depend on it if MMA has the ability to snipe off any of these Vikings. But the reality, he just lost one of his, Colossus, of course. He lost one of his Vikings, so now it's down to 3. It's going to get increasingly difficult, and we're seeing that shift into charge lots come out of Squirtle. MMA does have a little bit of an upgrade advantage. He's actually going to move into this. I don't know about this decision right now. He's got a lot of SCVs with this army. No force fields going down. Storms on both sides. That left claw taking incredible damage, and now Squirtle's just going to, in fact, force the GG entirely out of MMA, Kevin.
Wow, that was absolutely amazing. Storm finishing in the middle of that engagement. There was just a ticking time bomb. I was watching, I was like, one storm, and then just finished, and then storms just completely covered everything. That was amazing timing there. A little bit lucky, a little bit unlucky there for MMA.
I am just stunned that he pushed into it. Both players were on 2 bases. We did see a tech upgrade, or a tech advantage, out of Squirtle, but MMA had an upgrade advantage. He actually had 1-1, and he had a second engineering bay with an armory completed. He was ready to start 2-2. And, I mean, there was one Forge on the field for his opponent, Squirtle. I don't feel like MMA had to push that, but he tried to, and unfortunately, it cost him the game.
Yeah, that was just such a weird decision by him. I mean, both of them weren't going anywhere near. Okay. Sorry.
Producer giving us some notes there.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, going to be Hero. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hero facing off against his opponent. Casted by Grubby and Total Biscuit. It's going to be versus San, in fact.
Yeah, San, yeah.
So going to be pretty exciting stuff there. I hope you guys are excited for some Korea versus Taiwan. It's going to be pretty pumped up, and that's going to be coming your way in just a second, folks. So thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed that series, and unfortunately, MMA going to be knocked out, going down 0-2 to Squirtle.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been my last cast for the day. I don't know about yourself, but you can catch me on Stream 3 tomorrow. And, of course, you can follow me and Kibbles on Twitter. And thank you very much, guys. This is IPL 5. We're going to run to commercial break. Stay tuned. There are 3 streams available. Check them all out.
Rated M for mature.